Hey guys, what's going on? A user named John Wayne's Gun posted a comment on one of my last videos, and I actually thought it was a really good idea. Top 5 things you need to do once you have your own patrol car. And there's nothing you really need to do, but there are things that you need to have. Doing this for so long, you learn a lot of tips and tricks and stuff like that, kind of like shortcuts, things that'll help you out on the street. So I'm gonna help you guys out by giving you the top 5 most recommended things to have with you at all times. Some of the things on the list probably won't make a lot of sense, but I will explain them thoroughly to you guys. There's nothing super exciting about the items on this list, but I know it's going to help you guys once you're out in the field, so let's get started. Number 5, an accordion folder. Of all the things that you carry with you, an accordion folder is definitely going to be one of the most helpful things that you can possibly have. Once you become a cop, you will realize the mountain of paperwork that you're going to have with you at all times. It almost seems like every call requires a different piece of paper. Now keep in mind, not every department is like this. I'm just going off of the 2 departments that I've been with. Car accidents is the biggest one, and let's go ahead and stop calling them car accidents. They are motor vehicle collisions. A sinkhole suddenly appearing in the middle of the road and you crashing is an accident. Someone rear-ending you at 40 miles an hour because they're checking their Facebook status is a motor vehicle collision. That shit is not an accident. But there's a lot of different forms that you guys are gonna encounter, everything from car accidents, shoplifting, notifying someone that their driver's license is suspended, driving under the influence, vehicle tow logs. Anyway, the list goes on, you guys get the point, but every type of call you go to, a lot of them are gonna require a certain type of form. And one bad habit that I used to have is just like keeping papers in my car, and then you end up with a bunch of crinkled garbage in your trunk. So try to get an accordion folder. Take the time to be organized. If you guys are organized in this job, it will make things so much easier for you. I am not an organized person whatsoever, but I have had to learn to be one since getting into this line of work. And by having one of those accordion folders, it'll keep every form where it's supposed to be, so you can just open it up, find the tab, and then pull it out. If you guys were to look at my trunk now, everything is very compartmentalized. I have a spot for everything in my trunk. So whether I'm going to a death scene or a motor vehicle collision or whatever, I have everything I need and I know exactly where it's at. Number 4, a spare set of handcuffs. Guys, I cannot reiterate this enough. There is no such thing as having too many handcuffs. You never know when you're gonna need them. You might show up at a riot, you might show up at a scene with like 12 different people, and you might need a few extra sets to get people into custody. And not only that, a lot of times you might arrest somebody that's like 300, 400 pounds, and one set of handcuffs is not gonna work. You're gonna have to link 2 or 3 different pairs of handcuffs to get them into custody without breaking their shoulder. And if your department lets you do it, I would recommend throwing like 10 pairs of the zip tie handcuffs in your trunk just to have on hand. Number 3, a seat organizer. The seat organizer is basically a large plastic molding with metal hooks at the top of it, and they basically hook onto the passenger seat, so you can store like your ticket book, your flashlight, documents, maybe like a code section cheat sheet, whatever. It's just an area to put all your like pens and pencils and stuff like that. Guys, if you're getting into law enforcement, I can guarantee you, hopefully not, but I can pretty much guarantee you at some point in your career, somebody's going to run into you. Now, the ticket book, the pens, everything else that you left in your seat are now flying missiles through your car, because I highly doubt any of you want a metal pin going through your eye at 50 miles an hour. Number 2, latex gloves and hand sanitizer. This one should go without saying, using a little common sense. But the people that you're going to be dealing with are oftentimes pretty nasty. You're going to be dealing with people that inject themselves with needles. They might have HIV, they might have hepatitis. Not only that, but there's also bacterias and everything else, molds. If you guys go to a store or something, I would recommend actually getting some of those face masks too, the disposable ones that you can throw away. So we'll say the face masks, the latex gloves, and the hand sanitizer. I keep a huge jug of the hand sanitizer in my door, so anytime I get back in my car, just squirt some of that in there, wash your hands, and I even do that after I take my gloves off, just to make sure. Number 1, the last thing that I would recommend every single one of you carry, and I know you guys are gonna chuckle at this, tampons and maxi pads. Yes, gentlemen, I just told you to go buy some feminine hygiene products. And no, it's not for when somebody on the shift hurts your feelings. When I tell you what it's used for, you're gonna think it makes perfect sense. So you're cruising down the road at 4 o'clock in the morning and you are struggling to stay awake. Then all of a sudden the alarms go off on the radio and shots have been fired. One person is on the ground. You are the closest unit. You arrive on scene and this guy has a bullet wound in his chest. What do? This guy is gurgling blood and the ambulance is still 5 or 10 minutes away. I am not a medical professional, so I'm not recommending you do this. This is just a practice that I do, and I have seen it work before. There's my disclaimer. Think about what those particular feminine hygiene products are used for. We have had gunshot victims before. We arrive on scene and we plug, as much as it might hurt them, it's going to save their life. You plug the wound with a tampon and then wrap it with a maxi pad over top, put some tape on there. It'll help control the bleeding, and it'll at least allow them to get to the emergency room where the doctors can do whatever they need to do to save that person's life. It's better than just like covering it with a towel and hoping it stops bleeding. Guys, that is it for today. If you have any more video suggestions, leave them in the comments section below. I do appreciate the ongoing support. There's so many of you that I see over and over and over in the comments section, and it's so cool to know that you guys watch my videos on the regular. So I wanted to kind of send a special shout out to you guys. I do appreciate it. And guys, if you follow me on Instagram, those of you that ordered merchandise during the campaign while it was open, I want you guys to send me the most creative pictures that you have, including Officer 401 somewhere in the picture, and you might get featured on the Instagram page. I've already had a few people send me pictures. It's really cool of you guys to do that. And like I said, if you want to be featured on the Instagram page, I'm going to be selecting some of the most creative ones to put on there. Guys, thank you again. I'm sorry this is kind of short today. I'm extremely tired after working all day, so I'm going to go home, have a beer, and relax for the rest of the night. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys soon.